and a bluegrass state. This is your Two Dads.
Your Two Dads.
Two real dads giving you the real news.
Like California taxpayers are now funding illegal alien healthcare. All right, go California. That's amazing. Also, Tink Tink has been released on probo. Oh, no, there's no Deke. Okay, good morning, everybody. I'm JJ. That is where Deke sits. And we meet here Monday through Friday at 8 o'clock in the morning to drink coffee and talk about the world's news, solve problems, and set a positive mental attitude for the whole rest of your day. This is the best way to start the show. And Deke's here. See? Good morning, Deke. How are you doing?
I'm here.
Good morning, sir. So before we start, we'll have Dave here in a few minutes, and we'll do music. But we have plenty of things to talk about. Just in case I forget, remind me later to tell you about my my time as a grand jurist. I was a grand jurist yesterday. Well, I was considered to be a grand jurist, and then I guess they read my profile and they're like, nah, not you.
I'm pretty sure the prosecuting attorney was probably like, "Is that JJ?"
Oh, can't have celebrities on the court. You're going to be a distraction from justice, sir.
Yeah, that's what it is.
How are you doing, Deke? Oh, he's coughing.
So
he's coughing.
My daughter, my youngest daughter, who's 11, fixing to be 12, she has been sick, and she was at the house snotty, and I think I'm starting to get it a little bit. I'm trying to combat it. And I've been I'm one of these people that usually is in my younger years, I got sick once a year with the cold, and that was it. If I ended up getting the flu or something, it was like a once in 5-10 year kind of jive, you know?
Really?
I'm very thankful. In my older years now, I'm trying to be thankful for the things that I have instead of envious for the things that I don't have, because I spent a lot of my life being
really
not really
okay,
envious, but just being like, I don't have that. I wish I had that. I don't have that. All these other people are lucky. This guy, he gets. I didn't have that. I didn't.
Comparing yourself. That's can't compare.
I live my life that way. That is so stupid.
It is so important for you to cultivate an attitude of gratitude. And I know that sounds like some cheap thing you read off a calendar or whatever, but honestly, your life is better if you just willfully appreciate what you have and don't worry about the things you don't have. For instance, I don't have a lot of our subscribers right now clicking the like button. It's not hurting my feelings very much. I'm sorry, I turned your personal.
I've known you
so horrible.
If you didn't take the opportunity to turn that into
oh my God,
a pod person, and not
you would. Hey, are you sick? Am I sick? Oh, so well, I'm glad you're grateful for what you have. Honestly, that is something that I like. We really focus on kind of putting our daughters through kind of a daily thing to like, hey, what are you grateful for? And like, it's not just at Thanksgiving dinner, it's every day. We do it every day at our house. Just name anything you're grateful for. And we just make them kind of think back through their mind or their day or through yesterday and just think of one thing that they're happy about, that they're grateful for.
Good habit to instill in girls that are very young right now, because that will cultivate in their and foster in their.
I'm hoping.
I'm being serious. I think that's great. I really think that's great. Yeah, because now that I've gotten into my older years, I try to think about that stuff. And the devil on the shoulder always comes back and says, "Hey, it's getting easier to flick him off."
Yeah,
he still shows up and whispers and has those thoughts, but it's getting easier as I'm getting older to just flick him off the shoulder.
I'll tell you one other thing, and about this kind of idea of wanting things. I realized several years ago, like there's things that I like want, but I don't actually like need. And sometimes it's just the thinking about the future of like, what if I got that? What if I had that? Wouldn't that be neat? I like that. I like the idea of thinking about like wanting a thing more than actually having it, which means that I don't need that thing. You know what I mean? Like there's things that I think about like, oh, that would be neat if I had this or that or whatever. I don't really, but I know myself enough to know that once I get the thing, it isn't as valuable to me anymore, really. So, and that makes it easier to dispense with the kind of crippling part of desire, right? Isn't that what it is? It's like want or desire. Anyway, I don't know. I don't think I'm framing that very well, but I just think it's a neat idea.
You did. I completely understand and agree with everything that you just said. I'm that way. My mother was one of these. I used to say I still say this. The greatest lesson my mother ever taught me in her life was unselfishness, because looking back at her life, she was the most unselfish person I've ever seen. She and my children know that. And even though she passed away when they were young, my children still know that their grandmother was very unselfish. My daughter, who's fixing to be 19, is like, this was Granny's. She bought this at the dollar store. It's not worth anything. There's Dave.
Yeah.
And she gave it to me. So
yeah.
Unselfishness. It's need versus want, like you said. It would be nice. It would be cool to have a PlayStation 5, but once you have a PlayStation 5 in about a week, you're like, I think I'm gonna go outside.
Isn't that the weirdest thing? The idea that wanting some things can capture our minds. I'm gonna take your spot, sir. Good morning, Dave. It's been a minute since we talked. Oh, hey,
morning.
Dave's audio is pitched up real high.
It is?
It's a little high
Say hi,
for me.
Hi.
I haven't heard him say anything yet.
Okay, all right.
I just said hi.
Oh, hi. How was the Iditarod race? What place did you finish?
There was no snow whatsoever. It was completely brown, muddy, nasty.
So did the dogs just run over mud? The sled?
They didn't do anything. They didn't do anything.
Man, that's a wasted trip. Is JJ frozen?
No, I'm not frozen.
Oh,
No.
he wasn't moving. I was like, his eyes weren't moving. Hello,
All right.
How was your Christmas and New Year, sir?
It was good, man. We went up to my wife's family up in northern Michigan, the Upper Lower Peninsula.
Oh yeah,
You know,
okay.
Michigan.
Yeah.
They got that's the
Yeah,
Upper
little-
Peninsula. Yeah, we were up here.
Even the Upper Lower Peninsula.
Yes.
No
And so that was
snow up in
nice.
Michigan, really?
None. And we're in the snow belt. We're like right on the bay. Nothing. Not a thing.
Wow.
And then we came back and did a lock-in with the youth group on New Year's Eve. And dude, I am getting old.
Yes. Lock-ins are not the same when you were 17 years old, are they?
No, even in my 20s and 30s, I'd come home and power through. I can't do it anymore. I came home and I crashed for about 3 hours, got up and then powered through, but still.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, good. I'm glad everybody.
Everybody else good?
We all had good.
Good. And Christmas was good? Yeah?
Yeah.
Winter break was good? All right. All right, guys. Let's see. What should we talk about first? I think. Well, we need to handle the stuff on the title card. So today's episode, Dave. Since I know you weren't here, you just parked your car, ran in, jumped on the internet. Today's title card: California taxpayers are now funding illegal alien healthcare. Isn't that so generous of them to seek and desire to do that?
That is.
These people of
Californians are the
California are
best.
just amazing.
They're
They're
the
just so
best.
amazing.
Good people.
So the reason why this is a story, well, I mean, obviously, it like all around the country we have mayors saying like, oh, this is causing a crisis. And California's like, let's bring a reason to get more into California, more illegal immigrants. 50 Cent slams California over taxpayer-funded health insurance to illegal aliens. What the F? This is 50 Cent. Oh, you know what, Deke? We forgot to do our song of the day, sir. Forgot to do our music session.
In the club, their song for the day.
Is it a 50 Cent song?
Can you cover that song real quick? Can you
That's what I was just humming.
Yeah, I know. Can you do the lyrics though?
You find me in the club.
All right, we'll do this real quick, and then you can do music. 50 Cent slammed California over its use of taxpayer-funded money to fund healthcare for illegal aliens. I don't understand this. This is going to cost $2.6 billion for taxpayers. He wrote on Instagram on Wednesday. They don't even give veterans health insurance. Call my phone right now. He was talking to MSNBC's Ari Melber. Call my phone right now. Help me understand this ish. What the WTF? Yeah, that's pretty much the exact reaction that you ought to have if you find out that you're paying for. What if it wasn't even just illegal aliens? What if it was just like, oh, you're just going to pay for all your neighbors' healthcare? Would you even if they were Americans and they were just like, hey, you're going to pay for all your neighbors' healthcare? Is that cool?
I don't mind helping my neighbor.
Right.
At all.
Right.
But I'm not going. There's a fine line between helping and I can't think of the damn word here.
Enabling.
Enabling. That's the word that was evading me. There's a fine line between helping and enabling, because there used to be a guy in town that was struggling. He was a musician in his younger years, and he got on drugs and he started struggling. And a buddy of mine was like, I love the guy. We've been taking him groceries every week. We'll take him, $100 worth of groceries. This was years ago, so $100 worth of groceries was a lot of groceries. He was like, we take him $100 worth of groceries every week. And I'm like, man, that's nice of you. Well, like 2 months later, he's like, I got to take groceries over there, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you're still taking him groceries? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, dude, there's a line there between helping and then that he's not going to help himself because he's got $100 worth of groceries coming in every month. All he's got to do is just sit here.
Yeah.
So you have to cross that line and be like, you don't want to, but you be like, okay, I've helped you, but now I've got to take the sterner approach and be like, get your ass up, get clean, get a job. I will help you do all this stuff, but I'm not doing this anymore. I helped you just for you to help yourself, and you have displayed that you're not going to help yourself. It's
not charity, and it's not helping when the government points a gun at you and takes money out of your pocket and it says, "Oh, you're helping people." That's not helping. That's being robbed.
What ramifications for not paying taxes? Because I don't know if you're having a gun held to you, but
it just depends on
quite literally, what are the ramifications for not paying your taxes?
Yeah, you go you go to prison.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying by pointing a gun at you.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. You go to jail. You get Al Caponed.
I do know people that have not paid taxes for a long time.
Yeah. Well,
Hash brown was a mistake.
I would not have a problem with helping some of these immigrants. Mm-hmm. I'll say that. They're people. Some of them are wanting a better life. I'm not a heartless asshole, but our military men, they come first. Period. If you're not helping them, these immigrants aren't getting helped at all. They're not getting a dime if that guy's not getting $1.
Well, I mean, right now, like in Chicago or New York or whatever, the cities are putting together, because they're getting a flood of migrants. They're putting together like mass housing, right? And they're even in some places putting them into hotels, but they're not doing that for veterans that are down on their luck.
And it's not just immigrants; it's illegal immigrants.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like the ones that I'm all about. This is a better place than where you live. I am fairly confident of that.
Absolutely.
Come here. But there has to be a right way to do that.
It can be unregulated. It can't be just literally.
And if an immigrant shows up and they're going through things the right way, things are going to be hard for them at first. And why not? Let's help them out. Let's help them out every way we can so they can at least get a foot, so they can contribute back to society. But the illegal immigrants who may be here for the right reasons, it just, yeah.
Well, I mean, like in some cases, you have refugees that are fleeing like political persecution, right? Mm-hmm. That is not the majority. I don't care what anybody is saying. We all know that the majority of the people that are coming to America are because it's a better opportunity here. That's economic migration. They can come here and they can make more money than they can make where they live. They can live in a better, and you know what? Mm-hmm. Of course, that's totally rational. You can live better. You're less chance of disease, say, or being sick or ill, or being able to care for your family or whatever. All of those are totally valid reasons to come to America through the front door. Through the front door. This is related, but we've spoken before about Mayorkas. You guys know Secretary Mayorkas. Deke, I didn't hear you. If you said something, I didn't hear you. Deke, did you say something? I thought I do not have Deke's audio.
I don't know if he can hear you. I hear you.
Deke.
I hear you.
He must be on the radio. Okay, so we've spoken before about Secretary Mayorkas, the Department of Homeland Security person who's responsible for the implementation of our immigration and border control policies and making policy decisions about who and how we handle this wave of migrants. I mean, when I say wave, it's like an entire ocean of migrants. Hundreds of thousands of people crossed into the country last month.
We're talking like a California wave, or are we talking like a Gulf wave?
I mean, we're talking, it's been a lot of people. It's a lot of people. So I saw this story this morning on Breitbart. Mayorkas was being interviewed on TV by Brett. You guys know this guy from Fox News. Brett Baier.
Whatever.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And here, listen to that Mayorkas here. Let's see. I think I had it in the right spot. Yeah.
President Biden has just completed his third year in office. How many illegal immigrants has DHS released into the country from the border in that time?
Brett, let me correct a misunderstanding. When somebody enters the country, we place them in immigration enforcement proceedings pursuant to the immigration law. Mm-hmm. And if
my question was how many, sir?
Claim for relief, their claim to remain in the United States succeeds, then by law they are able to stay here. And if it doesn't succeed,
have a number, right?
We remove them.
You should have a number, right?
You should have a number. I mean, you don't know. Let's say big. Let's just ballpark it. Is it more than 500,000? More than 1 million, 2 million?
Brett, it's well more than 1 million per year, and
I'm gonna stop him there. He said, "Well, in that 3 years, how many people has it been? Is it more than 500,000? Is it more than 1 million?" And Mayorkas says, "Oh, it's more than 1 million per year." And in fact, we know it's like over 8.5 million. That's what we have on encounters. I pulled that data.
Came out of his mouth was a bunch of red flagged BS.
No kidding. Yeah.
It was just, these people are beautiful at dancing around the question. And that's why I don't listen to this crap anymore. Because some of these reporters will ask hard-nosed questions. They're very few. But I do see them ask some hard-nosed questions, and every single time we have people in front of Congress that are told, if you lie, you're going to hell, and they still lie.
Yeah.
So why should I? This is why I don't pay attention to some of these talking heads and stuff. And these.
He went on to say that he wouldn't be surprised if more than 70% of those people were released out of detention and into proceedings. Remember what proceedings are? That's whenever they write your name on, be like, you're gonna have a court date, and the person released is like, oh, okay, I'll be there. Wow, look at Deke. Deke's having an earthquake.
Train's going by.
Oh, choo choo. All right. So that's the immigration stuff this morning, and good job, California. You guys are going to take care of all the illegal immigrants, and Mayorkas is going to make sure that you have plenty of customers in California. And the ocean is trying to eat you. We saw that happening over the weekend too. So, California in the news.
I don't want California to completely fall off into the ocean and be eaten by the giant squid monster. I really want to. One of my bucket list items of places to see is the redwoods.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like one of the very few things that I really would like to see is the giant redwood trees. I love trees. I'm a tree hugging hippie. I love plants. I would be in awe of seeing those giant trees. There's a 400-year-old red oak that's right behind this building that is humongous. It's over 400.
Really?
Yeah, it's humongous.
Older
It's
than
older
America.
than our country. Yeah.
It's a white oak. And it's nice, man. It's beautiful. Huge.
Do you want to do your music stuff, or shall I just keep doing stories
We'll do
here?
music at the end of the show.
Okay, cool. Can you all the sound levels sound okay to you? Everybody's mics.
Deke's a little
You
soft.
turned me down.
Yeah,
You're a little soft.
Let me check my sound settings. Yeah, we talked the other day about this.
Oh,
and
is Windows?
It happened in the middle of me talking on the radio the other day. It's my
Yeah.
my sound levels went down to 13. How does this sound?
Oh, see, yeah, that's a lot better. Okay.
Yeah. They go
Okay.
down. I don't know what is grabbing my adaptive. My microphone level keeps going down. I don't know what's doing it.
No idea.
There's a
Okay.
1,000 things it could be.
So let's stay on politics for a minute. Joe Biden has released his first political ad of 2024, and I saw it and I was like, hey, hold on a second. That sounds rather inflammatory, sir. Let's check it out. Oh, you're gonna love it. Benny Johnson posted it on Twitter, so we can
Does not share the.
here we go.
I've made the preservation of American democracy the central issue of my presidency.
What?
I believe in free and fair elections.
Oh,
What
the
did he
preservation
say?
of democracy. I made the preservation.
I've made the preservation of American democracy the central issue of my presidency. I believe in free and fair elections and the right to vote fairly and have your vote counted. There's something dangerous happening in America.
Bullshit.
Dangerous happening in
Bullshit.
America.
That
Hold
first
on.
fucking line is brainwashing propaganda.
Of course it is. It's a political ad. Look, dangerous happening in America. Trump flag, J6.
Showing you this.
Hold on.
It's all propaganda.
There's an extremist movement. It does not.
Breaking
Did you see
glass.
that? Extremist movement. Trump flag, Trump flag, Trump flag. So basically, if you're a Republican, if you are one of the majority of the Republicans, if you're a Freedom First MAGA Republican especially, you're an extremist.
Share the basic beliefs in our democracy. All of us are being asked right now, what will we do to maintain our democracy?
Vote your ass
History's
out.
watching. The world is watching.
There's
Most
Martin.
important, our children and grandchildren will hold us responsible.
Yeah,
The Vice
snitching
President
and molesting them.
Just drinking my coffee.
Dave's just drinking his
Ashley.
coffee.
Just
I don't
drinking
even think
Ashley
Dave's got
Biden
his
is going to
ear-
hold you
I don't think
responsible,
Dave's
sir.
got his earbuds in.
Yeah.
I have supported voting rights since day one of this
Day
administration.
one.
And I ask every
one.
American to
Illegal
Day
immigrants and Americans, illegal immigrants, we don't care. Come vote.
Look, democracy shouldn't be just for Americans. Democracy should be for everybody. So come to America, everybody, and you can all vote here.
Let's get this shit over with.
All right.
join me in this cause. America is still a place of possibilities where the power resides with we, the people. That's our soul. We are the United States of America. There is nothing beyond our capacity when we act together. I'm Joe
Okay.
Biden, and I.
F Joe Biden.
Fuck you, Joe Biden.
Okay, as a audio engineer and someone that
Yeah.
produces commercials for a living for 30 years now, 3 decades.
Yeah, for sure.
The very first critique I have is I would have been like, look, you want to do this commercial and you're going to spend all this money on this commercial and you want to hit your target audience. First of all, take the fucking bag of marbles out of your mouth. Okay. So I know we're trying to use these speeches and whatnot, but we're going to have to get somebody to write all this shit down. And Joe, come in here. And Joe, this is what I would tell him. Joe, open your mouth when you read.
We can totally AI deep fake his voice at this point.
Or that. Because
and
that
you can make it sound
garbled
intelligent
mess.
and everything.
If I was, and I'm playing the complete devil's advocate right here.
Yeah.
If I was in his camp, I would have been like, that is shit. And we need the video is fine.
Understand what you're saying, Joe.
Very good propaganda. The audio matched up to what the video was saying. But we were calling it. And if the listener is going, if it's hard for the listener to hear, if the music's up too loud, they're not going to pay attention to what you're saying.
What about, I mean, okay, so for me, this video kind of reminds me of, you guys remember the Red Speech, you know, the one where he basically was like justifying like violence against, yes, obey, the Darth Vader Empire speech.
They don't want you to remember that, but we remember.
Yeah, no. So it's so irresponsible. I know that those were photos of J6, and by the way, overblown. Everybody knows January 6th is overblown. But I know those are photos of J6, but the photos of J6 that he chose were when they were waving Trump flags. There's lots of photos of J6 where you didn't have to have Trump flags. So what is he doing?
That.
He's conflating this perception of this January 6th insurrection riot as the most dangerous thing in America, but he's painting it exclusively as it's just MAGA. It's just America first. It's just Republicans. They're the most dangerous faction.
Dusting of what he has to come. The marijuana will be on the big thing. I guarantee you school loans will be a big hard thing going to be hit again. They will probably hit abortion up again. These are the big issues that are going on right now. And they'll all be hit up again to brainwash the sheep. But some of the sheep have come out of the wilderness. Okay. And I have to say that because my father is the prime example.
Oh,
he
really?
was a straight Democrat voter. Okay. Very uneducated in political. He didn't pay attention to anything. He was a Democrat. He voted Democrat. And now he tells me I made a mistake. My sister-in-law said the same thing, and she is a liberal. And she still is a liberal. We don't agree on certain things. And she's like, I made a mistake. I made a mistake.
Wow. It's so interesting that
I'm personally experiencing. You know, all these people that did not vote for Trump, that did not want to vote for Trump, that didn't like Trump, have now had their eyes opened. It's like, oh my God, that guy really was helping. You know, so this is what this is just if they didn't make a political ad like this, I would be surprised.
My concern from the ad, and I'll be very careful with what I say because, you know, we're going to pitch this idea of uniting America because we are stronger when we're united. That was towards the end, right?
That's right.
There. But then you show the whole video about really what you're attacking is the right and demonizing the right,
which is
or just a portion of the right. But still, if you look at the numbers that are currently polling, dude, if you want to unite, find a different topic because that's just going to cause more division. Just find a topic that you can actually unite people around.
He doesn't have one.
That's why a lot of presidents go to war so they can find something that people agree on.
That's true. Luckily, we're not gonna have leadership that just drags this into a pointless war. just to win a political contest, right? That's not gonna.
You know when dogs don't understand and they turn their heads sideways?
We're in two wars.
No.
2 wars.
Oh my God. All right. I want to change the topic a lot.
Yeah.
Do you guys know when I say Tink Tink? Do you know who Tink Tink is?
No.
Never heard of Tink Tink?
No.
Do you
Wait,
do you know
is that one of the Teletubbies?
No.
Yeah, Tink Tink. Yeah, he was the
Tink Tink
great
is a
one,
Teletubby.
right?
What about Cat Williams? You know who Cat Williams is?
I know who Cat Williams is. Yeah.
Cat Williams, comedian. You might remember this bit that he did. I'm going to play it. And Cat, please don't. No, nobody's watching. It's fine.
That ran track for a motherfucking living. He ran
Sorry about the
track
language.
For a motherfucking living, and he lost both his motherfucking legs. Now I hate losers and quitters, but I feel like if you run for a motherfucking living and you lose both
That's
of
a
your
lot of language, Cat.
legs, you should be allowed to sit this motherfucker out. You have done everything there was for you to do, and this motherfucker on some gangster shit decide not only is he gonna walk again, he decide he gonna fucking.
So that's Cat Williams telling the story about Tink Tink, this Olympic like runner, or this guy. He actually had his legs removed when he was like 3 years old because of some congenital disease, and he put on carbon fiber prosthetic legs, and he ran in the 2012 Olympics in London. And so you might remember seeing him. Now, Cat Williams goes on to describe this guy as Tink Tink, Tink Tink, Tink Tink, Tink. He can run so fast because he didn't have the weight of legs, and he could run, and he had these carbon fiber legs. It's kind of considered unfair. Tink Tink, Tink Tink, Tink Tink. Massive. Then a year later,
Oscar Pistorius?
Yes, a year later, he murdered his girlfriend.
Yeah.
By shooting her through the door of the bathroom. Oscar has maintained the entire time he thought there was a home invader, and he shot the home invader through the bathroom door, and it ended up being his girlfriend. Everybody else said, "Bro, you murdered your girlfriend through a bathroom door." Boom, boom. He's in South Africa, and he was been in jail in South Africa for like 9 years. Oscar Pistorius has been released on probation. So, Tink Tink. I just thought you would have recognized
the Blade Runner.
He might also have been called the Blade Runner.
That's how I know his other name.
So Oscar Pistorius, or whatever, freed on parole, remains hidden after 9 years in jail after killing girlfriend. So I saw this morning, and it reminded me of like not only the Olympics in 2012, but then also this crazy story where he probably had a fit of anger or rage and got into a big fight. But he's been released on parole or probation. I learned a couple of things in this article. South Africa does not have bracelets or wrist or ankle monitors. So when you get released on parole, you're just released on parole. Now, he's got to report to a probations officer or corrections officer. But I thought that was interesting. Like we kind of live in this society where like, okay, somebody's been released on parole, but they're going to monitor you. They're going to know where you're at and what you're supposed to be doing or whatever. Right. But in other countries, like there's not even the possibility of that sometimes. So it's just like, it's just a guy.
What you going to do? Put a Wi-Fi tower on a giraffe neck? Damn. Bunch of fucking giraffes walking around with antennas on their damn ears.
Johannesburg is pretty high tech.
It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea.
I'm just making a joke. I'm sorry.
Yeah, his the mother of his girlfriend actually gave a statement, and she said, "Has justice been served? Justice can never be served for if you've lost somebody that you love. Justice can never truly be served. And the reality is that those of us that remain are the ones serving the life sentence." So she did not protest his going into probation. So it seems like there's some kind of healing going on. Obviously, there's kind of a limit to how much you could forgive somebody, but the fact that the mother of the victim didn't say, "Hey, don't do this, don't let this guy out." The fact that she kind of had moved past that in her own life and was like willing to allow reconciliation and allow this guy to perhaps be restored. You know what I mean?
Right.
I just thought I think it's an interesting story. And anyway, if you happen to be,
did I post the judge in Nevada story?
There is an update to that. I don't know if you posted it or not. I saw
it yesterday.
I threw it in the news drops.
Yeah.
I don't remember if I.
She is now back in the court.
Yeah.
She returned to work.
She's fine.
Okay, good.
She got WWF by the
her dude,
probation.
the guy she was judging. It was repeat.
Yeah, he was like a 3-time felon, and she was like, "I'm not going to give you a freaking. I'm not going to give you a break anymore. You're going to have to pay the consequences." And he didn't want to pay the consequences. He's Supermander.
Yeah.
Jimmy the Superfly Snooker off the top freaking ropes. All right, JJ, I got something that you've also got something on as well, but we talked about earlier this week. So at the earlier part of the year, Disney finally had to release the copyrights on Steamboat Willie.
Yeah,
the earliest Mickey Mouse that they could come up with, because they've changed him so many times because you can't use the new modern day version anymore.
Right.
So this YouTuber that's like a voice guy, he's got over 1 million subscribers, took the 8-minute long cartoon and redid it in his style of comedy.
Oh, really?
And and put it up on YouTube, and they yanked that shit down. The YouTuber, his name's Brock Baker. So look him up. I haven't seen the video, but here is his the video was the entirety of the 1928 Steamboat Willie, that he did his own comedic voiceovers and sound effects throughout the less than 8-minute long cartoon. No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
According to Baker, even though he put up the clip, they demonetized it on behalf of the erstwhile copyright owner. So
there is no
obviously
copyright owner at this point.
No one. It's public domain. But what I think happened is that YouTube has not updated its freaking program.
I think you're right. Well, the tags on the content, right?
Yeah, they have not, and that's the only thing this is. This is not YouTube being ha ha ha. This is YouTube shit not being updated because some dude was eating Cheetos and forgot.
Their algorithm or their AI or whatever that monitors stuff, and it says, "Hey, this looks exactly like something that has previously been tagged as owned by Disney," and Disney didn't go in and remove the, this is copyright owned. So
is this the year that the old Batman stuff drops in the public domain?
I don't know.
It's
a good question.
It's either 24 or 25. I think it's 24. I could be wrong, but some of the old Batman stuff is going to drop into public domain.
JJ, I know that you are a big fan and you do a lot of fan fiction on this, but you could probably release
35.
I know you could probably release some of your fan fiction on Lady Chatterley's Lover, because that is now up for public domain. And I know you're a big fan and you've read a lot of Lady Chatterley's Lover fan fiction. I haven't read any of it, but I know you got.
Let me get my feather pen. Make it my feather pen book. The sunset was lovely.
That's what I was trying to come up with. My brain's
no comment.
That's so hilarious. Thomas spoke. Deacon turned on his microphone and spoke so lovely.
Dave, I don't know if you saw this because our show was messed up the other day, but not only is Steamboat Willie gone into public domain and I guess Brock has tried to make something of it. There's some derivative works based on Steamboat Willie that are the trailer for the
horror movie trailer.
Yes. Oh, you saw the horror movie trailer. Did you see the video game, the first person shooter video game?
No, I have not seen the video game.
Looks awesome.
It was called Mouse up until a couple of days ago. Now it's called Infestation 88. It gets a name change after a title accused of being a Nazi dog whistle. I'm not sure what that means. In the latest, I'll play. Infestation Origins. I don't know. In the latest case of social media woke scolds being whipped into a frenzy by their own delusions, a Steamboat Willie horror video game has chosen to rename itself after its original title was accused of a secret signal to be anti-Semitic and specific Nazi ideology. Announced on January 1st. It was just called Mouse, I thought. Let's see. Is this the same game? I wonder if this is it.
Hey there. Thanks for coming out. We've got a bit of an infestation here at the storage facility. Thought it was just rodents, but there's something else in here.
This is a different video game.
There's nests. They're everywhere. We tried to take care of it ourselves, but things have escalated. The exterminators are our last hope. Please, help us before.
Oh, look at it. Did you see it in the shadow?
Oh, no, you're wrong, JJ. They changed.
How am I wrong?
Changed its name from Infestation 88 because it represented the year 1988, as you can see right there on the freaking screen that you paused it. And that number 88 has neo-Nazi whatever, I don't know. So they changed the name to Infestation Origins, is what it was.
Okay.
The name was.
How is the number 88 related to?
I don't know, and I don't care.
Okay.
But they said that representing the year 1988 for the game's artwork, logo, and whatnot.
All right.
That we were unaware of any additional meanings of the number 88 has. Through feedback from the community, we learned it and therefore made the name change ASAP. We want to apologize, blah, blah, blah. Jesus.
Guys, you can't do this just every time some SJW says that's Nazi because they think everything's Nazi.
We're not going to be able to say anything because every word will have a fucking historical bad meaning to it.
Yeah.
We already look at that Nazi symbol with hate, and throughout history, that symbol has meant good luck.
Well, yeah.
But one person takes something and does something hateful, and that change, I mean.
Yep. That's right. Okay.
So
there's a couple of Steamboat Willie games. Anyway. All right. What do you got?
I got a feel good story for you. You want to? Were you going to go over those games?
No. And we did one the other day, and that was that infestation one. I hadn't seen that one before. The other one was in black and white. You saw it, Deacon. Yeah, it was like a first person shooter.
I'm going to agree with Deke though. The beginning of that trailer, I jumped. Freaked me out a little bit.
Creepy.
The phone started ringing, and I'm like, "Where's my phone? What?"
Yeah, the freaking. I didn't know what was going on. I thought something was happening here at the radio station. I thought a train was derailing for a half a second. I was like, "What in the crap is going on?" Okay, so I've got a really good feel-good story here for you today, thanks to technology. The world's first partial heart transplant is growing in children. All right. And it can potentially double the number of hearts that are used for the benefit of children with heart disease. So children with this heart disease and needing these valves and stuff, they grow, right? So basically a TLDR is these children that have this have to have these valve replacements. And when they grow, they have to have those taken out and bigger ones put in. And then when they grow again, they have to have multiple surgeries. So this team of researchers at Duke Health have this new heart valve that grows with the child over time. And they say the technology works. Let's see. Babies with serious heart valve problems face a tough challenge because there aren't any implants that can grow with them. So these babies end up needing new implants over and over until they're big enough for adult-sized valve. The problem is we don't have a solution yet. Duke Health doctors, leading a study published in the Journal of AMA, discovered that the innovative valve collection method used in the blah, 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 produced these valves and arteries that are growing along with the children, and they resemble natural blood vessels. So this is a very good thing for these kids. This method can potentially double the number of hearts that are used for the benefit of children with heart disease. Of all the hearts that are donated, roughly half meet the criteria to go on to be used for a full transplant. But we believe there's an equal number of hearts that can be used for valves now. So when donated hearts that were previously unused are introduced to the supply chain along with the inclusion of valves and blah 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 blah. Okay, yeah, this is the article talks
So
about heart transplant.
these are donated human hearts. So somebody died, right? They're not something like pig hearts or pig valves, which I
No,
know
and
that
they've
they
used
do in
that
some
before,
cases.
but they don't grow along with. They
That's
don't grow.
interesting.
So these grow. They've figured out
Yeah,
a way to make them
keep
grow
them
with the children
alive or integrate them.
I thought this was great. This is I love stuff like this.
More people can be helped by the same amount of because there's like a certain there's tragedy. The only way you get a donated heart is because somebody else died, and if only half of those are of any use to help somebody, well, now if you can just do the same number of tragedies, but now more people can be helped. That's great. That's good stuff. That's good. That's really good. Okay. Wow. Neat. Thanks. Oh, you got anything interesting happening, Dave?
I saw a really unique story the other day. So my wife is not a gamer by any stretch of the imagination, but she has in her bedside table a Game Boy, like the classic Game Boy. Yes.
Seriously?
Now she rarely gets it out, but she has one game for it, and that is Tetris. Did y'all see the Tetris story that broke?
Yeah, I think one of you two mentioned it the other.
Yeah, I think I threw it in there. I guess this broke yesterday. 13-year-old boy became the first to beat the unbeatable Tetris by breaking it. So if you've played Tetris, you've probably gotten max like 20 lines.
Doesn't it
to the
go
game.
faster and faster
it
and
does.
faster
It goes
and faster and faster?
And this kid, he got 100 and I'm trying to remember how many lines now.
57.
157 lines in, or level 157. Sorry, level 157. And you can go that far with mods. Some other dude made it to 237 before he crashed it. But without mods, this kid made it to 157, 13 years old.
Wow.
Basically, like he has a panicked looking attack on YouTube. And he says, I can't feel my fingers. And I'm like, yeah.
So he was actually doing it now.
Yes. Which is insane.
Now, there's a video. That's video of AI, but
this is not the kid.
Yeah,
no.
but there's a kid. But there's an actual kid.
This is Willis, aka Blue Scooty, setting a new
Scooty.
Can't watch it for 15 minutes, but
no, I'm not watching this shit for 15 minutes. That's why I was scrolling.
Yeah, I think it was earlier that he because he's already at level 157 right there in the video.
Yeah, there he is. He won.
Yeah, he just beat it.
Here, let's rewind that a little bit and see what he said.
For level 157, but something unexpected is about to happen.
Oh my god!
He just became the first person ever.
A game crash, reaching the true kill streak, which is by far the biggest achievement.
So, let me let you guys in on something that's a new. It's not new. It's been around for a little while, but it happened after we became adults. Okay, my son Deacon loves this kind of crap. And it's speed runs. Y'all heard of speed runs through these old video games?
Yeah.
And they do them for everything, but it's like your speed run. It's not just how fast can you get through the game. It's like how fast can you do this with this additional challenge, or how fast can you do this with this and this additional challenge. Now it keeps going up and keeps going up. And these kids, Deacon is 16 years old and he is already so much better at me than certain. He beat the Spider-Man 2 video game in 2 days. And I was sitting there watching him and I was like, I'm going to have to turn it down to friendly. I can't play it on amazing. I'm going to have to turn the difficulty down to friendly neighborhood so that I don't get knocked out at all.
Speed runs. I know this is a thing, but I've never looked at it at all. And the first and only one that comes to my mind is speedrun Super Mario Brothers, because you could you get in the first level, you could run over and then do that pipe jump and go over the brick wall and go to the I remember when I was young, I was I would do that trick and get to the end of the game pretty quickly. But I remember seeing videos 15 years ago of people doing the whole game in a minute or something like that. Yeah. Crazy.
So the last game I invested a lot of time in, console game, was Breath of the Wild, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And I put about 100 hours into that game. it tracks your score, and it was disgusting. That was over a year, so it wasn't like.
Oh, dude, Final Fantasy VII, I had like 170 hours in, and that was on PlayStation 1.
I learned about speed runs playing Breath of the Wild, and so I attempted to do I think what is it, like 20-minute speed run of the game, or then it was an 8-minute speed run of the game, and then it was like, I'm like, this is ridiculous, because I'm thinking of the hours and hours, days and weeks, and man,
I'm playing a brand new Red Dead Redemption 2 story arc. Nothing that I had done, and I had almost everything, 100% of the game on my other, and now I'm doing it again, and I'm taking my time going through stuff, and I'm noticing stuff, and I'm seeing, like foreshadowing and a lot of stuff that I didn't see before. So I like to take my time in video games.
I forget where we were. We were up in Michigan, and at like Target or something like that, in the mall, and I'm like, I need to go get something. And Julie called it a side quest, and I looked to the kids and I said, "Always do the side quest, kids.
Always do the side quest." That's
so
exactly
we ran off to find whatever it was. It was a deck of cards that I was
It's been, I don't know, 20 some years since I played Final Fantasy VII, and I remember there was like an Ifrit like side quest or something like that, where you had to do all of these certain things to be able to fight this fire demon, if I recall.
I only played the first Final Fantasy. I never played any of the other ones, like on the Nintendo.
Final Fantasy VII was legit good. It was good.
Oh, I'm sure. They had to be.
But I haven't played it in like a million years. But they had this system where you whatever your sword was, you could put different gems in it, and it would give it different abilities.
In it.
Yeah.
They have it for on the PlayStation 5 that you can download. But they have the new remade one, but it's only like 1/3 of the game, and they're still working on the second third of the game now. And I don't want to play 1/3 of the game and then wait a year and forget the freaking story.
Did they completely revamp all the graphics and update that or something?
Yeah, battle system is, you can change to the old battle system or the new battle system. It's and they try to stay true to the story, but it's not exact. It's a remake. It's not a retelling. They're remaking it. But they have the old version on there, and I've had an emulator on my phone that I can play the old version on. It's just the controls are hard, and I stopped playing it because the controls were a pain in the butt on the emulator. But I want to get a backbone, a PS
building
backbone.
a arcade cabinet for our ministry center here. Raspberry Pi, the one from I Like to Make Stuff. Shout out to Bob if you're watching. Hey, but we bought the templates and everything, and we're building that. We're gonna throw the Raspberry Pi in there and have fun with it. It's gonna be. I'm looking forward to it.
I think we should make those. Remember those set down Miss Pac-Man ones?
Yeah.
You can play on either side. You should do that and put a computer and an emulator on the other side.
I have the build templates for that one as well.
That one was nice. I don't have any other stories. I was looking for my secret stories, and I don't have any secret stash.
I don't have any other stories other than yesterday I was summoned to jury duty, and
Anarchy. We had a comment. Anarchy 936 said that said the same thing. The remake is kind of different than the game than the original. He's exactly right. It's not the same. It's
thank you for that, sir.
Yeah,
let's put a little star in your
fantastic. As somebody who played the original Final Fantasy VII to almost completion, the only thing I missed was the Rahum lightning materia that you could only get when you went inside the locker room in your first visit and I missed it. And I ended up calling. We didn't have the internet back then. I ended up calling that fucking 1-800-1900 number. I had the Final Fantasy VII strategy guide. That son of a bitch is it's 30 years old, and it's probably in my closet. I had 7, 8, 9, X2, I had all of them. I'm replaying Final Fantasy X right now.
It's been so long, I can't remember. And I thought the Ifrit thing was the thing, but I think Ifrit was just a thing you could do, like a summon, much more commonly. Knights of the Round was the
ultimate materia that you had to have, and it was the ultimate one. It was located in the middle of the ocean in the top corner in a forest, so that you couldn't land your airship, and it was surrounded by mountains. So the only way to get there, remember all the chocobos? There was a blue chocobo.
Yeah.
And it would run across the ocean. And then there was the green chocobo that would run over the mountains. And then there was the black chocobo that would do something, but the gold chocobo was the only one that could do all of it. And you had to breed a gold chocobo in order to get the Knights of the Round. And it was a pain in the ass to breed those freaking chocobos.
Never played that game.
Oh my God. Yeah. And remember, again, this is pre-internet. This is when like you had to like, somebody had to have told you or you figured it out. Who's going to sit around breeding chocobos until they come up with like
that was their way of selling,
and then you wouldn't even know what
that was their way of selling the strategy guides.
Oh yeah,
because there was a formula. You couldn't just hope to get one. You had to have a female blue of the whatever caliber and a male black of the whatever caliber.
Yeah, you spent so much time feeding these things and all that. Yeah, it was. But that was in the era. That was kind of in the era like the game. That part of the game, that game, existed subsequent to those little Yamaguchi things. Remember those Yamaguchi things where you would like it was like a little pocket keychain thing where you'd like keeping track of your little
clean up its poop
pretend animal or whatever. So the maintaining the chocobos was kind of like that inside of Final Fantasy VII, except you had to like. A bunch of them.
Final Fantasy always had that because Final Fantasy VIII had that freaking card game that they played, and it was fantastic. I loved that freaking card game. And Final Fantasy X had that freaking underwater soccer crap, that they had, and I loved playing that too. That was so fun.
Which one had the gun blades? Because I liked the idea of the gun blades, but
I think 8 had the gun blades.
Okay, the gun blades was neat, but traveling around the world was dreadfully slow. And even if you got the car was just like it takes you forever to get anywhere to do stuff. Anyway, it's been a long time.
Yeah, we got to talk about video games every once in a while because that's how us two met. That's how we're here today.
Ricky, thanks for hanging out and making me and pushing us farther into that.
That's great.
All right, guys. At the end of our show, by the way, thanks for hanging out with us. I don't care if you subscribe or like the show, but it wouldn't hurt my feelings if you didn't. At the end of our show, we always close the show by telling dad jokes. So I hope everybody's got a dad joke. Deacon, Dave, here's my joke for today.
Okay.
Why have you ever thought about this? Why do we put candles on top of a birthday cake?
Because you can't light them if they're under a cake.
Yeah, you can't put them on the bottom.
Is that the answer? Way to go. I was thinking that, Dave.
Like that's kind of...
Yeah.
All right.
To guess JJ's answer. All right.
Yeah. Can't put them on the bottom.
JJ, do you know what nursing homes smell like?
Oh, formaldehyde and poop? No. What do they smell like?
Depends.
So
that is good.
So true story. My oldest son, he's a college student at Western Kentucky University, and they're going to London at the end of this year because they are marching in the New Year's Day parade, January 1st, 2025 in London for the King.
Awesome.
Very cool. Very cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And so we were talking, and I'm like, you got to be really careful of the guards that are around the front of Big Ben. They're always super tired. And he said, why is that, Dad? I said, because they work around the clock.
Oh, you got cheers and okay.
And half didn't.
All right. All right. We will be back next week, Monday through Friday, 8 o'clock in the morning, rumble.com/JJW, or on the YouTube somewhere, unless we get canceled for talking about Epstein. Bye.